Hello, Lego Bro here, and I've decided to showcase what we've done so far in our current map. It's a very exciting project, and I kind of want to show everything that we've done in the past 15 or so days, and take you guys along for the ride of how we're developing a map and some of the design decisions that we've made so far. So, with the quite big success of A Fox's Life 1, we've decided to go ahead and make a sequel. And, well, we're in the designing phase. So, the kind of same premise will be collecting diamonds, but there's going to be a lot more depth to the fox movement mechanics and the way being a fox occurs. Different mechanics will change, new things will be added mostly, a few optimizations and refinements, making things better. But yeah, so we're excited about what we have already made, and we hope that you guys will enjoy the finished product. So the gameplay design, we've made a few choices. Where I'm in this server right now, where we're actually building most things. There's a bug. I don't know what's causing it, but when I try to become a fox to test things, it crashes the server. So I'll have to go to single player to showcase that. But there's a few things here. We'll be coming back to this area in just a bit. But I want to showcase some of the new fox mechanic designs overhauls. So I'll meet you in single player. So here we are in single player. I'm a fox and I have floating particles following me. There's a few design changes. So the first thing is the inventory is kind of different. If I go into adventure mode, it'll be a little bit more obvious. So we have the normal diamonds here, and currently the names of them are a little off because they're using the old names from the first map. But there's also now, these are going to be arrows to go between different pages. So this is area 2, this is area 1. And within each area there's going to be 7 shulker boxes. So if I showcase that by running, if I fly over here, main, reset, shulkers. We see this white shulker over here, and I think I have to set it to I can't remember if it's shulker.white or shulkers.white, but if I set it to 5, this should become 5. So it shows how many shulkers you have. There's going to be 7 in each area. We might change that though, but I think 7's a good number. So you can interact with it, and now I have 6, or 5 from 6. And it also drops a bunch of emeralds, which is fun. So we're going to try to lean more into the collectathon aspect that the original map kind of started touching on, and I think will be a lot more exciting for the sequel. There's a lot of more platforming mechanics that I've added. So for one, we have boxes that we can push. I stole a good chunk of, I think it was Nope Name's Zelda Movable Blocks data pack. And one of the things that I changed is that if you push a gold crate on a gold pressure plate, it will make it max power. And if I step on it, it's only 2 because it's me and the fox that's actually there. So the box pushing is going to be a fun new mechanic. You may have noticed in my inventory there is amethyst shards, nether quartz, and sweet berries. These are going to be found throughout the map, each in a different area. And what these do is give you buffs. So amethyst gives you extra hearts, and nether quartz makes your bite stronger, and sweet berries gives you a better pounce. Speaking of pounce, you see all these purple glazed terracottas. If I charge up a pounce and land on one, it'll propel me up in the air. And so we're going to use these a lot in terms of gameplay design, and I think they'll be pretty exciting for everything. And then once you finally land, it bites. So you can actually chain these and go up higher and higher, as you can see here. And then bite. So quite a few changes, quite a few new things that I think are very exciting, very fun, will give us a lot more opportunity to make the world interesting to explore. And as I'm showing you these things, one thing that a lot of people complained about in the first map is the fox latency. So as you're walking around as the fox, it is kind of follows you behind slowly. It's like almost half a tick behind in terms of where you are versus where the fox is. So I've devised a new data pack, well, really a new function, new chunk of the function for movement detecting. And all it does is it predicts where you're going to be, and because of the interpolation, it puts the fox where you're going to be. So it's only got a few minor side effects. If I go into first person view and look down and I press left, you see the fox wiggles just a tiny bit. So it predicts it over based on your past movement, and it kind of readjusts itself over time. But yeah, so the fox movement is going to be a lot more better. What it does is it has two markers, and that's why when I go into creative mode, you see these particles. Those are actually markers. So it uses two. It has a position of where you were and a position of where you are. And based on those two, it calculates your current position as a midpoint to the line where the first point is. So let me build something that shows a little bit better. So let's say the emerald block is where you currently are, and the diorite is where you were. It's not, I mean, it'll work with this big of a distance, but it's more on the tenths of a block scale. So what it does is it basically says, oh, you moved 3 blocks within that last frame, so it's going to put the fox here. And because of the interpolation, which interpolation basically means as you're teleporting, it makes it smooth. So let me see if I can show something. Let's get a creeper. If I teleport a creeper five blocks up in the air above me. Oh, that could have been bad. You see it go from over there to up there, and if I do it again, you see it doesn't just disappear and go up here. You can see where it goes, and that's the same thing with every entity when you teleport it. So that's the trick I use. I have to overestimate where the fox will be, and that's kind of why it feels snappier. So I overhauled the fox movement, and I also made a shop system. So emeralds are going to be different in this one. They're not going to be per area. They're going to be overall just money. And we can see here if we can buy a TNT or snowballs, and they each cost 10 emeralds. So if I buy a TNT, it's actually a carrot on a stick. I can ignite it and run away. And TNT can blow up certain blocks, but that'll be explained in the map later. One last thing I want to show you in single player is something that I'm not sure yet what to do. Maybe you guys will have ideas. And this is the sniffing mechanic. So if you hold shift, your fox tries to sniff and it creates a green line pointing towards the nearest important thing. So in this case, it's pointing towards a sweetberry bush over there, which is right here. So as I walk around it, it'll point towards that sweetberry bush. So if I'm over here, so basically that's going to be how you can find hard to find collectibles. But I don't want it to be just something you always have and something you can cheese just by always running it. So I was hoping to restrict it. Maybe you need it to hold a certain item for it to work, or maybe it's like a final upgrade or something real expensive you have to buy. I'm not sure. But that's a lot of what is new about the gameplay of this map. And other than that, there's going to be more and more additions, and I'm hoping to share some of our harder decisions with you guys on in terms of gameplay, because I think that'll be interesting to see how we balance things for you. Before we head off for this video, let's go back to the multiplayer server, and I want to show you just a couple small things. So here we are back on the server, and here we have the first area. The first map did not have a tutorial, which was probably the dumbest thing we could have done. Some aspects you could kind of teach yourself, and some you had to figure out. But yeah, this map is gonna have a very guided tutorial. And so part of the problem is we have an open world environment, as you see here, but we want to restrict the player to be a very small area so they can't get lost without knowing how to play. So here we have water to block them off. I think they can get over if they really try hard, but maybe that'll be a fun boundary breaking thing. We'll try to patch those. But all along here, there's 2 blocks high, and throughout the tutorial, you do not have pounce until later. And the way pounce works in this map is the more sweet berries you collect, the higher pounce level you have. So if you only have 1 sweet berry, you can only jump 1.5 blocks. But if you have 2, then you can jump 2, I think 2.5 maybe, blocks. So here we have a crate puzzle. You push it, figure out how that works. Here's another one. You got to press the gold to get this thing going, and these also pistons to kind of distract you. So there's that, and then there's a bunch. That's our testing platform. That's why it looks ugly over there. But Eric from the Brickmasons team has been hard at work making custom trees and all sorts of things, and I think it looks pretty great. So here's the first sweet berry you get, which is great. Probably have to fix some of this grass. But you get that sweet berry, then you can jump over fences, and then it keeps going on and on until you reach this area. Now this is kind of like the what I described it to the team, in my head at least, as the Mos Eisley Cantina in the Lego games. So it has all your stats, it has all sorts of things, kind of like the hub where you see other players or other NPCs walking around. And then finally, one last thing that I hope will get you guys excited for this map is this. Let me make sure. Yep. This building montage. I've created a special tool for it to create buildings. And because this is all like mobs interacting with each other, I thought, what's the only mob that can really place blocks? And that would be the Enderman. So we have in our world canon, I guess, Endermen build stuff. And so here you would either pay the Enderman or you unlock this somehow, and then the Enderman gets hard at work building and repairing this bridge. I'll show you that to you. And it looks great. I'm very happy with how this turned out. I think it feels nice just to watch, and kind of satisfying noise hearing it a bunch. And I can just reset it and run it again and again. So there'll be more of that type of stuff, but I hope to have whet your appetite for this map and more developing on it. So if you want to see more of the behind the scenes of our decision making, let me know. I would like to try to jot some ideas down as I'm making decisions. There's a lot of decisions to be made in something like this. And I think if I make a bad decision, at least you guys will learn from it and I'll learn from it. But if I make a good decision, then you guys will also learn from it that way too. And we'll see how we can make this a great map for everyone to play. So thanks for watching, and leave a like if you think that you want to keep watching this series. I don't know. I'm trying something different where I'm not actively developing. I think maybe a recap might be better with who I am. I get lost in my own thinking when I'm developing on camera. But yep, thanks for watching, and as always, have a great day.